Wasn't recording. Okay. What do you mean by? So I'll come to that with an example. Now, what is a sample space? All possible outcomes or simple events are called as sample space. Okay. Or I can say total outcomes. For example, simple events and sample spaces. If I say there is a single birth, then it could be a boy or a girl, right? Now, if I mention that a single birth is a girl, that means there is only one girl. Can you break this down into further simple event? That is why we call this as simple event. Okay. Now, for example, if there is 3 births and I say that it has to be 2 boys and 1 girl, now this is not a simple event because we can break it down to 3 more events, right? Now, 2 boys, first 2 births can be 2 boys and then we can get a girl, or it could be girl first and boys next, or it could be boy, girl and a boy. So there are 3 events involved in this, so that is why we do not call this as a simple event. Now, what is a sample space? This sample space, the outcomes, the total outcomes are called as sample space. Okay. Now, when I say there is 3 births, it could be all 3 boys, it could be all 3 girls, or it could be all these outcomes. Okay. Now, all total outcomes or total outcomes is called as sample space. So these are another example. Simple event is nothing but only one value or only one result is called as simple event. Now, example, with 3 births, the event of 2 girls and 1 boy is not a simple event. Why? Because it can occur with 3 different simple events, that is these 3. And that is why we do not call that as a simple event. Now, what might be a simple event for the same example? With 3 births, the event of getting 2 girls, 1 boy, but a boy must be the youngest child. So they are saying that there are 3 births. It could be boy, girl, or a boy, right? It has to be 2 girls and 1 boy. Now, there is one more restriction that the boy must be the youngest child. That means he is the 3rd child. And first 2 are girls. So this is a simple event. You do not have any other option other than this. So this is a simple event. When rolling a single die, the outcome of 5 is a simple event because when you roll a die only once, the probability of getting 5 will be once, right? You can get a 5, right? So that is a simple event. Next. Now, before I go into the examples, okay. So as I said, probability are nothing but the chances, also called as likelihood. Now, this probability always, now if I say that tossing a coin is an event, now that event can be represented as a letter A. So A is nothing but the event. Now, should we use only A? No, it can be any letter. It is just a representation. Okay. Now, the probability of getting a A or the probability of that event is represented by P of A. Okay. Probability of event A. Okay. Now, range of the probability. That means the probability values must be less than or equal to 1, or it has to be less than, greater than or equal to 0. So probability of any event must lie between 0 to 1. Why? The answer is, now how do you find the probability? Probability can be found using this formula, which is number of outcome divided by total number of outcomes. Total number of outcomes. Now always the total number will be higher, right? That is the highest number we can get. When I say I roll a die, I toss a coin once, it could be heads or tails. So total number of outcomes is 2, heads and tails, right? So total number of outcomes is 2. Now I said head or tail, right? So the number of outcome will be only 1. It could be head or a tail. So it is 1 here. Now if you do this in your calculator, it will be 0.5, which is less than 1. So for any event, the probability will be between 0 and 1. Okay. Now, what are the cases that you will get a probability as 0? As I said you that it is between 0 and 1, and it could be 0 or 1. So it is including 0 and 1. So what is the probability of getting 0? That means the chances are 0. There is no chance you could get that in the event. Now, today is Friday, right? What are the chances that tomorrow is Monday? 0. So there is no chance at all. I will go with the same example. For a probability to be equal to 1, that means definitely it will happen. Now, for the same example, today is Friday. What is a chances that tomorrow is a Saturday? 100%. Definitely it is Saturday tomorrow. That means the probability is 1. Okay. Now, if you get a value closer to 0, the events are unlikely to happen. So the chances are, if it is closer to 0, we can say it is less than 50% chance. So it couldn't happen, right? Now, if it is 1 or closer to 1, the event or events are highly likely to happen. What if the event is 50 chances, 50 by 50 or 0.5? If the probability is 0.5, then 50% chances are there. One such example is tossing a coin. So it is like 50-50 chances. We could get head or a tail, right? The probability is 0.5 here. This is for tossing a coin. Probability of an event A. Now, this probability, it could be expressed as a decimal, like 0.5, or a whole number, or even a percentage. So you could express that in any ways. It's not a number, it is a fraction. Decimal, fraction, or a percentage. Coming back to the notes. Okay. Now, identify the sample space and a simple event in each of the following. So as I said, your simple event must include only one event. Now, what is the sample space? All outcomes, right? Now, they are asking us, the question is, if you toss a coin once, now what will be the sample space? I will denote it as S. So what will be the sample space? It could be head or a tail. Okay, if you toss a coin once, the total outcomes will be head or a tail. Now, what is a simple event? Simple event. The question says getting a head if you toss a coin once. So that means you will get a head only once. So it is a simple event. You cannot break down further. Getting a number that is more than 4 if you roll a die once. So let us write the sample space first. If you roll a die once, you could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it could be any number you can get. Now, what is a number that you will get? What is the probability that you will get more than 4? So there are only two numbers here. So that means your event, or I will represent that as A, is only 5 and 6. Now you have two results here, so it is not a simple event. Now, what will be the probability of this? It is number of outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. Now, total number of outcomes is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? 6. Now, what is a outcome that you will get more than 4? What is the probability? It is 2, because it is only two numbers you will get when you roll a die once. Simplify this, you will get 1 over 3. Now you can see it is less than 1. Okay. Next question. What is a chances that you will get a same result? That means you must get only head and head, or tail or tail. Okay. When you roll a coin twice. So you can get head 2 times, or it could be head and tail, or you can get tail first and head next, or it could be 2 tails. Right? That is the sample space, total outcomes. Now, what is the event? Event they are asking is two results must be seen. So it is head or a tail. It must be same. Now, what will be the probability? 1, 2 divided by total number is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 50% chance. Now, this notations we have learned. There is nothing but a probability. A, B, C are some events. So it could also be represented with any letters. It need not be A, B, C. Now P of A, if you write it as P of A, which means probability, P is the probability, so probability of an event A occurring. Okay? What is A bar? This is called as complement. The bar which is upon the letter, this is called as complement of an event A. We'll see what is that. Now probability of that event or probability of A bar is nothing but an event which will not occur. What is the probability that the event will not occur? That is called as complement of an event which will not occur. For example, we have an event which is there is a chance of rain. When we say there is no rain, the chances are very less. That means it is A bar, a complement, or saying that the event will not occur. So this we learned. The probability is nothing but number of outcomes or number of ways divided by total number of outcomes or a numbers in the sample space, total number in the sample space, denoted by S and En. Total number is denoted by total number of a sample, is denoted as N, small n, and small s means number of outcomes, depending on the event. So as I said you, it could be expressed as a fraction or a decimal or even a percentage. Okay. Another example, there are 3 children, right? 3 children. So it could be anything. It could be a boy. Sample space will be boy or 3 boys, or it could be 3 girls, or it could be like this. First boy, and then we can get 2 girls, or it can be boy, girl, boy. 2 boys, 1 girl. Or 2 girls first, next boy, 2 girls, 1 boy, or it could be 2 boys, 1 girl. What else? There is one more way we can write this. 1 girl and 2 boys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So is there any way we can write in another ways? I don't think so. Now what is the total number of outcomes here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So total number of outcomes is 8. Probability of an event A. Now I will take this as event A is small s by capital N. Here. So small s by capital N. Small n. So n is nothing but number of samples. So number of samples here is 8. Right? Now let us read the question again. We have 3 children. We found the sample space. Now there are some questions that what is the probability it will be exactly 1 girl. So it has to be only 1 girl. Go back to your sample space. Look at the sample space here. So there is no girl here, so I cannot take this. There are 3 girls, but we need only 1 girl. So this cannot be the answer. Not this, because there are 2 girls. Yes, this could be the answer. 1, 2 girls. So not an answer. I need only 1 girl in the set. So this is 2 girls, not an answer. 1 girl could be the answer. 1 girl again could be the answer. So chances are 3. So there are 3 ways we can get exactly one girl. So it is 3 by 8. Okay. Now, next question is all boys. Now you tell me what will be the probability. Everyone must be a boy. All boys. Exactly. There is only one way we can get 3 boys out of 8 ways. C. No boys at all. What are the chances? It's the same because here there are boys, so this cannot be the answer. Here could be the answer because there is no boys. That is what we need. So if you see all these, the rest of the examples, it is a no. So the answer is 1. There is only one way we can get that answer divided by total number of ways. Okay. Next concept is a law of large numbers. Now, we know that when we toss a coin once, law of large numbers, we know that when we toss a coin toss a coin once, what is the probability? Half, right? There are 2 outcomes, but we will get only one. So it is 1 by 2. Now, what will happen? What will be the probability if I toss a coin, say 50 times? One, do you think so? So if I toss a coin 50 times, you are saying that there's 50% chance I could get hit and 50% it is tail. So it will happen all the time. So when I toss a coin 50 times, I might get heads all the time or tails all the time. It could be 100%, it could be 50%, or it can be like 75% I can get heads, 5% I can get tails. So we do not know what will be the probability for this. Now, what will happen if I toss a coin, say 50,000 times? It is very hard to guess. It could be anything, right? Now, according to this law of large numbers, when we do a trial or experiment it or repeat the process of or an experiment again and again, 50,000 times, according to this law, they say that the probability of this is equal to the probability. Let me take this as a. So the probability of B event is very close to the probability of A. So they are saying that even if I toss a coin 50,000 times, the probability will be half. That is the law of large numbers. So this is one of your question in your lab 4. Or can you relate the gambling to law of large numbers? Okay. Simulations, you could just learn the definition. It is nothing but you will be doing the actual procedure, but not in a real way. For example, flight simulation, you might have heard of it, right? So they might not be piloting in a real flight. It is a flight simulation where they learn how to pilot, right? So that is one example of simulation. Now, to summarize, the probability of an event is a fraction, or it could be a decimal, which is between 0 to 1. Inclusive means included 0 and 1. Probability of an impossible event, that is a probability that an event will never occur, will not occur, is 0. The probability of an event will definitely occur is 1. That is what we learned today. Now you know about this notation, this also. Now tell me, why is this 1? This is probability of an event will occur, right? What is a complement? Complement means it will not occur. Why? Answer this question now, or it might be in the next class. Just left to you. Okay. Now these are other examples. So this is a deck of cards. We have total 52 cards here. 4 set. This is 13, and I have 4 set, so it is 52. So total number of outcomes is 52, right? Because we have 52 cards. Now let us solve this one by one. What is a probability? Now they're asking us, what is the probability of getting a jack? G. Where is that? Here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 ways we can get that. So probability of getting a jack will be 4 divided by 52. Right? Number of ways. We can get only 4 jacks. Shuffle it, do anything, you will definitely get 4 out of 52. 52 is total number of cards in the picture. B. What is the question here? What is a probability of getting 6 of clubs? 6 of club. It must be a club and the number must be 6. This is club, right? Spade. This is called as diamond. And this is heart. So what is the chances that I must get a 6 of club? There is only one way you can get that. So P, probability of 6 of club, is only 1 out of all the outcomes. What is the probability of getting a 3 or a diamond? Probability of getting a 3, or it might be a diamond. Answer this. It must be 3 or a diamond. Yes. 16 out of 52. And why is that 16? Now it is 3, right? So number 3 is 4. I have 4 chances of getting 3 and 13 chances of getting a diamond. So 13 chances of getting diamond. Why 13? There are 13 diamonds in the picture. Okay. Now the answer is 16. Why? Because now we have 13 here. We have 3 4s. 13 plus 4 must be equal to 17. But the answer is 16 because we are counting it twice. Number 3 and a diamond. we have to consider only one. It is 3 or a diamond. So our answer is, when you have already considered 3 here, you cannot consider this 3. Okay, so that is the reason we get 13 diamonds and 3 trees divided by total number of outcomes is 52, which is 16 by 52. Next question. What is the probability that you'll get a number 3 or a 6? Probability of getting a number 3 or 6. 8. Why? Because 3 is repeated 4 times and number 6 is repeated 4 times. 4 plus 4, it is 8, divided by total number of outcomes is 52. If I simplify this, I get 2 by 30. Okay? Answer this. They are saying they have 3 children. I think we did this problem, but I think it's a different question. So what would be the sample space? 3 girls, 3 boys, girl or 2 boys and a girl, or boy, girl, boy, or any other way. Girl, girl, boy, and shuffle that. There is one way I could write this. What is that? 3 girls, 3 boys, 1 girl, 2 boy, 2 boy, 1 girl, 1 boy and 2 girls. 1 boy and 2 girls. So this is the sample space. This is how you write the sample space. So the question is only finding the sample space. Okay. Now, when a single die is rolled, so you are rolling only once, keep that in mind. What is the probability of getting a 9? 0. Why? No. Yeah. So the dice consist only a number between 1 to 6. So there is no number 9. The probability is 0. It will never occur. It will not happen. When a single die is rolled, what is the probability of getting a number less than 7? 1, because less than 7 is 1, because an event, when you roll a die once, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is the number of ways or number of outcomes? They're asking us to find a number less than 6. We have all 6, which is less than 7, right? So 6 divided by what is the total number of outcomes? It is 6, 1. Okay? So that's your chapter 4.1. Now we will continue with chapter section 4.2. Addition and multiplication rule. let's continue this in the next class. So today, told me that lab 4 is difficult, right? So let me do lab 4. Okay. I might go fast because we just have 10 minutes. Now, for lab 4, no subset is needed. Okay. So what you have to do is go to File, New Data Table. Now, according to lab 4 assignment question, they are saying that it's a gambling game called as roulette. So I'll just rename this as roulette. Column info. Just press on OK. Just rename them. Don't do anything. Now, we know that it is a random binomial variable. So what is a random binomial variable? Which means it is taking a random numbers. We can say that by a name. What is random binomial? That means the variable will have only two values. It could be 0 or 1. So if you're doing some experiment and the result is accurate, then the value is 1. So if the experiment is a failure, the value is 0. So in terms of gambling, if you win, it is 1 represented by 1. If you lose, it is represented by a 0. Okay. So as I said this is a random binomial number. Now we will enter a formula because we need only two numbers. So how do you enter a formula? Here. Click on that. Now go to random here. This is how you choose a formula in JMP. Random binomial, because it is a random binomial variable. So random binomial. Now you get two, n and p. What is n and what is p? So we know that p is a probability. N is number of times. Okay. Now probability of winning is 1 by 38 mentioned in your assignment. So it is only played once, and the probability, the answer they are giving is only for one trial. So they are just playing only once, and the probability of winning is 1 by 38. Why it is 38? Because, yeah, there are 38 slots. So total number of outcomes is 38. Now, as I said n is equal to 1 because it is played only once. Now, what is the probability mentioned in your assignment? 1 by 38. 1 by 38. So chances are you will win or you will lose. So number of ways will be only 1 divided by total number of outcomes, which is 38. Enter. So once you enter the formula, apply that, click on OK. Now you will not see any result because you did not add the rows. So to add the rows, just double click on this. So you will see this icon as a row. Just double click on this. Now add it as 10,000. Why 10,000? Because in your assignment question, they said you have to do 10,000 simulations. So the row number is nothing but your simulation number. So in your lab 4, this is the important thing the TA will need to know. He needs to know, he or she must know that in what or in which simulation number you lost all the money. So this is very important. Now, as you can see, the numbers for this roulette variable will be 0 or 1. Now, we have 1 here, we have 0 here, 1, 0. So 0 means you're losing, 1 means you're winning. Now, once you do this in JMP, you have to convert this to Excel. So in Windows, go to File, Save As, and you can change the type to Excel workbook in Windows. Okay, you can name this as roulette. Rowlet. And save it in desktop. Save. So as soon as I save that, now if you get this window, click on yes. The Excel sheet will open. Now, if you're doing this in Mac, you might not have this option called as save as. Even if you have, you cannot change it to Excel format. So you have to export it. If you are using Mac, go to File, export that. You will have an option called as Excel here and click on Next. It will convert. Okay, it might ask you option like use both or use one. Click on use both. Right? You will get Excel which will automatically open. It might download and then open. Now we know this is a Rowlet variable. So what is the betting amount? Betting amount is 1. Betting amount is $1. So we will start from there. Betting amount is $1. We have another betting amounts also. So I'll be doing for only one. Now what is the amount left is what we want to know. So when I play for $1, I want to know at what point I will lose all the money. Okay. Now the hardest thing is in the formula. How do we enter a formula in the Excel? Always start with equal to. Always start with equal to. Now in Excel, you do not have to manually enter the cell number or the values. Okay, you have to click on the cell and it will automatically update. Do that because if you add manually and if you add the wrong cell number, everything is wrong. So do not add manually. Okay. Now equal to if. Why if? It is a logical statement. It is called as logical statement because it has only one or two values, true or false. Okay. Now we know that if I win the game, I will be getting 35 times the amount. So if I am investing $1, if I'm winning, I will be getting $35. So if I'm investing $1 and if I lose, I will be losing $1. Good, right? So how do we enter that in a formula? Now, if the roulette, right, that is 0. So that is where we are depending on. Now, if that is 0, that cell is 0, that is 0, I will be losing $1. So it is -1. I'll be losing $1. If it is not 0, if it is false, you can see the icon here, right? If the value is true, I will be losing $1. If it is false, what will happen? I will win. So that means I'll be getting $35. So once you enter this, okay, once you enter the formula, click enter. That's it. So after doing all these things, go back to the previous number. Now you want to apply the same formula to all the 10,000 simulations. So what do? Sit and enter the formula? No, please don't do that. But go back to the previous value. You will see this icon here. Just drag it to the corner. Okay, you must see that plus icon. Double click. Double click when you see that icon. The formula will be entered for all the 10,000 simulations. Okay. So now we know what is the amount I will lose, how much is the amount I will gain. But I do not know what will be the amount left with me if I win or lose. Notice the total amount, it is 1,200, right? Yes. So 1,200 is the total amount you have now. How do you enter that here? So I have 1,200, or if I say I have $10 and I am giving you $1, what is the amount left with me? 9. How did we do that? 10 minus 1, right? But here I will enter it as plus. So equal to, click on the cell. Do not enter the number manually. Click on the cell plus the previous amount. This is the betting amount, right? So plus, enter. Equal to the number plus previous amount. Equal to this. Try again. I don't know why it is not working, but this will be the formula. 1200 minus 1. So now I said plus the cell whichever you choose, right? So that is minus 1. Now I wrote this as plus. The formula is the total amount plus the betting amount. Okay, that is because the plus is because we have negative here. If I write the total amount minus the betting amount, it could add up. It will be reverse. That is why we have to write it as plus and then the cell number. Okay, now when you do this, you have to get 1199. Okay, now you have to, whenever you are entering the formula in the amount left column, you have to do that twice. So for the first value and then for the next value. Why? Because here the total amount is 1200. But when you are entering the second value, for the second value, the total amount, it will be the first value you get, right? Little bit confusing, but you can understand. This is the amount left plus the betting amount. Okay. So after entering the amount, the formula in the amount left column twice, once you do that, go to the previous value, wait till you get this icon, double click. That's it. Okay. So in this way, you will be doing for all the betting amount. Now, for example, if my betting amount is $100. Betting amount is $100. Now this is where you have to change the formula. If again A2 cell, okay, you are whenever you are entering formula in the betting amount, you have to depend on the roulette column. Okay, if this cell is 0, what is the amount I will be losing now? $100. Okay, it is not 1, it is $100, so it is minus 100. What is the amount I will be winning? 35 times, so it is 35 into $100. Okay, whatever might be the betting amount, you have to multiply 1 and 35 for that betting amount. Got it? Now just repeat the previous steps which I told you. Now your main work is to search for 0. So you have to search like this. Scroll. So some students might not get a 0. They will not see 0 in the $1 betting amount because you have to carry on maybe 20,000 simulations, then you might see 0. So if you are having that problem, just write in your report that you're not able to see 0. That means you did not lose any money when you do $1, when you bet for $1. So I don't think so I have 0 here. Okay. Now if I do for $100, you will see 0 somewhere near. So let me $1,200 plus the betting amount. So see here, you get 0 very early, right? Now your work is to crop this. Take a screenshot or you can use a tool in the Windows. So you can crop that position. The most important thing is you have to get the row number. So the number 13 is a very important value you have to get. So you have to take a screenshot and crop it in such a way that the row number is seen. The row number is nothing but your simulation number. Okay. So just crop that. I know the other values will be included. Do not worry about that. When you crop it, you have to mention in an heading that this is a $100 bet and put that screenshot. That's it. So that's your entire work. That's lab 4.